Tonight, it was my spelling that was the issue. So,
Yes, I
welcome.
had to redo the set list because Kev somehow misspelled Telluride.
Oh, we were supposed to let them have to guess which word.
Which word it was?
What did Kevin spell wrong?
That's right.
We are joined. I'm the Great Went. That's T over there. We're joined by Mike Ayers, Sharin in the groove. I almost said Michael because there's a Michael in the chat, and he is a Michael. We talked about this. I think people are Mike or they're Michael. Sharin in the groove. Fantastic. Oral history of the early jam band scene. There, we did a whole interview with you, so people can go check that out. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing great. Excited to be back. This is a great place. And as you teased, I think this morning there's something epic happening tonight.
Epic stuff.
Epic announcement coming. Yes.
But first, you've been on the road. You've been doing some shows. You were with Fish on Film guy. I think maybe we saw his thing pop up on Instagram. You've done some other things. How has the book tour been going?
It's been going great. I don't like. We had a great event in Burlington with Cotter from Goose, and a woman that's in the book who ran Metronome in Burlington back in she started it back in the 80s. She was a waitress at Nectar's. He's still super tight with Nectar, and Nectar himself showed up.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
That's amazing.
We hung out, and he asked him. He told some good fish stories, and afterwards he invited me over across the street, and we shared a bottle of wine, and he told more fish stories from the 80s, and it was phenomenal.
And then you went back to Nectar's and he fried you up some fries.
No, and then
Taboo was there, and he said Nectar was there too. That's interesting. That's awesome. See, the chat was there. That's great.
Yeah, it was great. And then 2 days later, it was when that news broke that it was closing.
Right.
So it was like this weird coincidence or timing. I mean, he's just chilling these days. But the sign is still there, and it's like it's an institution, and people drive by.
Okay, you're the guy who owns the building, because that's how this works. Like the 8x10 is owned by someone other than the people who run the club and own the name 8x10 and own the contents of the building, so to speak. Yeah. What do you do with Nectar's? What are you going to put in there? A furniture store? I mean, come on. It's Burlington, Vermont.
I thought you were going to ask, what do you do with the sign? Because now that you brought up the sign still hanging there, like that's one, like the Vegas graveyard of all the neon signs that they have and stuff. That thing could probably fetch a pretty penny up from somebody, or it belongs in like a jam band museum or like the Rock Hall or something. It should go in, but I wonder who's going to get that. Mike should buy it.
No, like, look,
auction the sign. Exactly, Mike. Exactly.
Like, look. So back to your thing about who owns the building, right? And it's like, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to have like a town institution safe
factory
and not shut down and be looked like a hero. Like what is the problem with that? Like, what's the problem with looking like a hero and having something cool stay?
Right. It's what, I tell you what, 8x10 is up for sale, is probably. And, the thing is, if you buy the 8x10, the guy who owns the building could turn it into a co-op next month. There's no, what somebody would need to do is buy the building from the guy and then make Nectar's the institution, like a jam band World Heritage site kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, you laugh, but like, yeah, you sell like pints of fish food out the window. Like, I don't know. I'm just being dumb right now. But like, yes, like some places just for the sake of a great cultural institution, they need to exist. That's it. That's it. And rich people, like billionaires, whoever, they need to be okay with that. If they own it, they just have to accept that it is going to be what it is. And, maybe they change the lineup. Maybe they diversify a little bit more. Who knows? Don't make it go away.
Don't
I'm
make it
giving
go away.
Simon
I
the
think that's the
thumbs up
biggest
there.
thing. Like losing that piece of history sucks. Like, I mean, it sucks when any bar or venue closes. Like, I know I've been living out here for like 30 years, and to see
What's
the
the Bakersfield
transformation.
place that we
Right,
talked about?
exactly. And seeing some of even the other smaller venues that have come and gone that you're like, man, that place was great. But then to see places like the Roxy and the Whiskey and the Rainbow that have survived even through the shit times and like are the little dives that you see and could close down anytime because it's not what it used to be. But to see them still functioning and still performing and still throwing bands out there, and even the Troubadour, I mean, to see it being so successful, still doing what it does. You don't take it for granted these days. You have to be like, fuck, it could go away. Like you never know. And it sucks.
I think somebody online the other day was holding up a picture of CBGB's, and then like right next to it was the Patagonia, like the
That
today.
was me. That was me.
Yeah.
That was you.
Yeah.
Oh, that somebody is you. Yes. Like just don't let that go away. That's all. Like just leave it alone. Like if you're gonna be if I was a billionaire, it wouldn't be buying media, it'd be just buying institutions and just letting people do their thing.
And so many venues we lost: Winterland, the Fillmore, all those Carousel
Exactly.
Ballroom, all that stuff just gone.
Gone. Yeah, exactly. Like it's crazy. It just sucks to see that stuff disappear. And yes, I want to say Mike's book is a great read and it's been getting. I'm not the only one that says it. It seems like everyone that's read it has had positive reviews about it and is so enthralled and intrigued by it and like, oh, I love reading this quote or like from this story and like all that stuff. And like we even talked about in the interview, the way you wrote it with all the quotes and how it builds the story around the quotes instead of just coming out and like giving you the story. It's so fascinating. It's such a fun read that way. It's really great. So I'm really good. It's awesome to see not just your touring and the publicity, because I know you were with Fish on Film somewhere too, and a couple other places like you mentioned Cotter and stuff. But it's great to see your tour going around with it too. Has been so successful. It's awesome. So much success.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, everybody that's come has been just so super into it, right?
Great.
They ask a lot of questions. Every single place we had to get cut off, meaning like the person that worked there was like in the background being like cut. And that's
Abigail. Here we got a question for you.
Who is your most fun or interesting source for Sharin in the Groove?
Great question. Trey was a fantastic interview. We talked for almost 2 hours. He, just had so much great things to say about Billy Breathes and touring in the late 80s. And there's just like some really great moments from him in there. I love the Modesty Martin Wood story. I love that band back then. I was super obsessed with them, and they also were just extremely forthright, forthcoming about what was going on and how there's just like a very interesting story where they were not listening to this type of music at all, got attached to it, started finding like a really big audience almost overnight. And then a label that they revered, Blue Note, wanted to sign them. But Blue Note in the early 90s was not like signing a Modesty Martin Wood band. Like it was a little, I'll just say it was not that. And, but it was, just this iconic label that really believed in them.
Smooth jazz.
Yeah. So all of that, I just loved, I just love that story and how they fit in part of it. And it's still great to see them playing.
They were the best. People be like, oh, they're a jam band, go see them. And they'd have this sick groove going on, and then Medeski would drop them into something that'd be like, and it'd be this drone, and everybody be like, just
Right.
Oh, it was so fantastic. I don't think I wondered, did you ask him if they liked the jam band label, or it was something that, hey, if it's gonna sell tickets, call me a jam band?
They weren't like that back then. You know, they were really just like head scratching, thinking that, you know, they were doing something like, you know, P-Funk meets Sun Ra, you know, just doing really their own thing. Like they existed in John Zorn's downtown world. You know, they really like they weren't listening to the Dead. Like their manager told me like they had never listened to the Dead um, before this, but they just started hearing that Fish was playing them and talking about them in interviews, and they were like, "Huh." And there's a great story in there. I think Billy Martin's told it a few times, but it's in the book how you know, the Fish guys came to a show at, I think, CBGB's Gallery, or maybe it was Knitting Factory, and then they met them afterwards, and they were so jazzed to meet MMW. And then the next day, you know, the MMW guys were talking to their friends and was like, yeah, this Fish band came by and whatever. And their friends was like, yeah, do you know who that is? And they're like, and their friends were like, they just sold out the Garden in 15 minutes. This was in like 94
Right.
or like 94, 95 era. So they were like, those guys sold out the Garden. And then, so I think it started to like
Click.
this in 94 because they hadn't opened for them yet. But yeah, so it was, you know, and then fast forward, you know, summer 96 tour, there's you know, Fish is playing at Alpine on August 10th, and MMW has a free show in Madison, Wisconsin on August 9th, and all the people that were on tour, I think coming from maybe it's coming from Red Rocks, I don't remember exactly, but going to Alpine, and they stopped. They just everybody crashed Madison, and they roll out, and like several thousand people are at this free show, and they're like, "What is like? What has happened?
We made it. We made it.
We made it."
That's
Oh my
awesome.
god. That's so fantastic. So you've been doing some shows. I saw that you might be doing something in Hampton, and you might be doing something for Billy Strings in Baltimore on Halloween.
Yeah. I'm gonna head down to the Billy Strings festivities in Baltimore. It's on Halloween and November 1st. And I don't know, what are you doing?
I
What are you
think
doing, Kev?
I think I'm going to hang out with you at the 8x10
Yes.
pre-show on Saturday. Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to do a live stream of the interview that Kev is going to put on with Mike at the 8x10. It's going to be exclusively on volume. It'll be live, so they'll be without a net, and it'll be a live interview with Kev and Mike talking about the book, and with a live audience there. It'll be awesome, and it'll be on November 1st, the day after the Halloween show. We're looking into also streaming a show on the 31st after the Billy show. There's a band playing at the 8x10 that we're going to try and live stream on
Uncle Graham, Uncle Knuckle,
Knuckles.
1 gram band. Uncle Knuckles, 1 gram band. If you like the Pigeons, you'd probably like them.
So we're gonna try and stream. Then they're an after show after the Billy show at the 8x10. So after the Billy show, everyone goes to the 8x10. We're gonna try and stream that one as a preview, and then the following pre-show before the Billy show is gonna be Kevin Mike's interview on the 1st. So exciting.
And we're gonna talk Halloween and all kinds of other nonsense. So you should come. I tell you what, Cross Street, if you've never been to the 8x10, there's a market next to it. You can get some oysters. Get some Western fries, chicken livers. Best chicken livers in the city are in there. If you like the deep fried chicken livers,
come down, Simon. Come on down and say hi. Come on down.
Yes.
Do it. Come down.
And then come over, have a beer, and
we might even have a few pieces of new merch to give away to some fans out there, Kev. You never know. I'm gonna try and make it out and do the filming. We'll see if that comes together. But Kevin Mike will definitely be there on the 1st, and it will be live streamed on volume on the channel. So make sure you check it out. We're looking forward to doing this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So
we needed epic announcement music.
We did. Should have played that some cinematic something.
Here we are. All right. So Concert Joe. This guy 24,000. The numbers. Here's my thing. The story is this guy's seen 24,000 concerts, and he's 71. So let's say 50 years. That's a lot of concerts a year. Apparently, he saw 1,000 concerts in 1994. I think saw like 3 a day or something like that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So, what kind of concerts though? Are we just talking like going to see a band at a bar, or
2 songs?
Like,
what counts as a concert? 2 songs and you're out.
Well, Well, yeah, and like, what's the venue? Like, I'm just curious as to what the parameters of that are, because regardless, it's impressive. Like, and I can't imagine what his final tab must have been for that many shows through the years, and watching the inflation go up on the ticket prices must have been fun too. But that's crazy. Like, that's a lot. That's a hell of a lifetime of shows, man. Impressive.
Yeah, Concert Joe seems he seems legit, but there's no buts. But okay, there's a but. No, it's exactly what you're saying. Like, is it 2 songs and you're out and that counts? I think you have to see half a show, like
a set, an hour.
I wouldn't say like I've seen 1,000 Fish shows if I just went to one song and dipped.
Right.
So there needs to. We don't have, I don't think, all the context, but it is impressive. It's his dedication.
It's definitely impressive.
Is great.
My God.
He hasn't listened to like a studio record in like decades.
Do you have to listen to anything else? I mean, you're hearing all new music
all the time.
I guess that would be fun to not really hear any of their new stuff, and then just go in like that and be like, oh, I like this band. I mean, at a festival, I could see. Well, I guess that's not one concert that you're not really seeing multiple concerts at a festival. You're seeing multiple bands, but I don't know. It's really impressive, and yeah, I wonder though, if it's just getting through the turnstile with your ticket stub. Like, some days you're sick and you're like, I'm still going, so it counts, and I'm here. I know.
And how does the festival work? Because when I say I've seen 1,000 bands, I'm counting that I've gone to festivals where I've seen 20 bands, and it might have only been a song or two. But I'm like, yeah, I caught you.
But you checked it out, right? You were there, so yeah.
But I wouldn't call that a concert. I would call the whole festival one concert.
Right.
Stats. It's all about stats.
Stats. Right.
Somebody posted today on Blue Sky that your stats could be taken away. I was like, I like that.
So somebody doesn't believe you, right?
Right.
Like you weren't there.
Right. Simon, I've seen a bunch of Fish shows. It took me to 2019. It took me 30 years to see 100. But I've seen a lot more since then, like back when I used to see 15, a year. I did that a couple years. Now they price me out of the market, man. $110 to walk in the door? Come on, man.
This is what you say.
Got it like that.
I'm the same way, man. It took me 30 years to get to 100 too. It's like I've been seeing them since 93, but I'm not like, it impresses the hell out of me that some of the 4.0 kids have over 100.
The 3.0 people are like, I'm on my 200 show, and I'm like, and you started in 2009. I'm like, math again.
I'm like, that is impressive as hell, but damn, like, I prefer to just look at the longevity of it and be like, 30 years, I've been there, but I think I'm at like 122 now. I think my next 3 show run will give me to 125. But yeah, it was it's not like it was. And to your point now, Kev, it costs so much. Like, now that I can actually have the ability to go, I can't afford it. Like before, I just never.
I went through this whole thing, Mike. I wonder if you've encountered this before, where I saw Fish a bunch of bars, right? And then then they moved to theaters, and all of a sudden they're playing arenas, and I kind of felt like I was slighted that they were my band that I used to go see at the Bayou. And now all of a sudden I have to go to the US Air Arena to see them, and there's all these noodle heads that I don't know. And
yeah, I think everybody has that sensation at some point, especially back then. Like, we didn't want that secret to get out. and we certainly didn't want the dead crowd to come over and know about it. Yeah, no, I get it. Nowadays, though, like a band like Eggy, or we were talking about Goose before, like I do kind of root for them to graduate, because I just think it just seems, I don't know. One, they're working like incredibly hard,
Mike
and
is back. Mike announced he's coming back today for Eggy.
yeah, he's back. But I just think it's without they don't have record labels, so it's just even a little bit tougher. So whether you like Goose or you don't like Goose, whatever, the fact that they had a packed house for the Garden was a pretty great feat.
Mm-hmm. Nobody else is going to do that. Dogs in a Pile and Eggy will never do that. They're going to do theaters. They'll end up in the widespread model where twice a month, three times every 2 months, you play a weekend at a place and your fans come see you, whichever closes for the weekend in Nashville. And, and the hardcore people have the money. They'll come see you every 2 or 3 weeks.
So the widespread model, I really wish MMW would adopt that. Like maybe like 4 or 5 weekends a year. It's, they're setting up shop somewhere cool and people flip out, but they can still do Wood Brothers. That Medeski does his thing, whatever, like Billy does, like they all can still do their thing, but people would lose their minds.
Mm.
And they would travel for it.
They would travel. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, yeah, exactly. I think that's a legit thing. And I think I really think too, the way widespread has kind of done it these days, especially with sort of the way they've been grouping shows into these runs and whatnot, has been a really successful move for them. I think it's really, Fish is almost adapting it in a smaller way of doing like a little bit longer tours, and but even the West Coast run, it's like 2 in Seattle, Portland, and then down and that kind of like compact tour of those nights, and it's good. Like I like it. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for us old people.
Yeah. I agree.
And I tell you what, I was talking to someone yesterday. Is it tomorrow yet? And I said somebody was young because they were just going to turn 40. So it's kind of a relative thing what old is, because we're going to talk a little bit about AARP, and there was a story that popped up. Pete Townsend busted out Long Live Rock, which another Chuck Berry ripoff too. Just let me go there with that. But the question is, I've seen The Who a bunch of times, but I want to see Bob Weir play. I want to go see Bob Weir play one more time. But should people at some point say we're not going to do one more tour? Because these videos are rough watching them. They look like Daltrey and Townsend look like they're going to fall over on stage at any minute.
Well, the Elton John, like before COVID, like was getting those types of reviews as well. And I did watch a video of his quote unquote farewell tour before COVID. And it was like, it was not good. Now, the fact that he rested for like a year and a half or 2 years and didn't do anything, then when he came back, I did go and see one of the shows, and it was great. He sounded great, but it's very dicey. Jane's Addiction last year, they're fighting on stage.
So funny. And the Jonestown, the Brian Jonestown massacre, they even had a bigger brawl, like blood. People walked off stage with like cuts on their heads.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We talked about that with who was it, Kev? Frankie Valli too, right? Wasn't it?
Frankie Valli. Yeah, they're wheeling out there.
They like wheeled out, and even Phil towards the end there, wasn't.
He had to sit at the last shows.
Right,
he got unstable, and they brought out the stool for him.
So I mean, we get it. We always talk about it, wanting to play until it's over and you die, but
Everybody wants to do a Colonel Bruce
die on stage.
and have the rest of the
feel
band
like-
keep playing because they don't know if it's part of the shtick of the show or if it.
But wasn't the first Who farewell tour in like 80 or like 84 or
I saw
something
the
like that?
89. I think 89. I saw them, and that was Tommy, and that was a farewell tour. And then I saw them in 96, and they did Quadrophenia, and that was the farewell tour.
I remember, I remember 89 because I think that was when they played Folsom too. And I went because it was like, oh crap, they're never going to play again. I got to see them before like they're gone. And now we're 40 years later, and you're like, oh, they're still having their final tours. Like, I don't know.
That's ridiculous. Like that stuff. If I can understand why fans would get crazy if they're constantly marketing this
The last time
you're ever going to see them. And the Dead and Company, like fans were like annoyed too, and about the final tour and then the Sphere. It was like, oh no, we didn't say final shows.
Right, we said final tour.
Final tour. We're not getting in a bus and going to different cities in a row. Like
Right.
it became like this semantic thing, and you know, fans love the band and they're going to do anything for them, but it's going to be annoying.
Yeah, but don't keep like saying it's the last time and then taking more money for it. Dave, Kev loves to tell this story.
It was Jared. Jerry threw Phil down the steps.
But then that,
and they used Dark Star on Live Dead from that night. That Jerry was like, it sounded like shit, and got in a fight with Phil over it.
Yeah. And then they re-listened to it and were like, you know what? It didn't sound like shit. Actually,
it goes to the question that I like to ask people, musicians: do you listen back to shows, and how much of a disconnect is there between what you thought when you walked off stage and a week later when you mastered it for Bandcamp? Hey, wait, I really did do something good there, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a wild story that came out of my interview with Trey, and I was talking to him about Cypress, and he said they walked off the stage, and we got in our planes, and within 3 hours of being at Cypress, I was at my house in Burlington, like by myself, doing nothing, and I have not listened to one note of that since I walked off, and I don't know if I ever want to, and you know, I think that's cool. I don't know if because of that, I don't know if they'll ever release it. I don't know.
Right.
Like
that's interesting.
They
Yeah,
just release the raw thing. Just release it as the bootleg series, you know, and this is the best sounding recording that exists of it, warts and all. Like Mo did their series, warts and all, you know, you do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd listen to it, man. I've tried at parts, but you're like, it's 8 goddamn hours for one set. And they played like 3 hours the first set, and they played 6 hours the night before. It really is insane. I think Trey's onto something that it's best experienced. If you were there, you got it. And you walk away and
yeah, I mean, you know, I'll listen back on a show that I see these days because I'm like, oh, that Chalk Dust was 30 minutes and it had some moments. I want to relive that real quick and see if I thought what I was thinking then. I still think, but I don't obsess about reliving the show these days. And maybe it's because it's access, because I can do it really quickly. And in the 90s, you had to kind of fight tooth and nail to get the recording.
You had to get the tape. You invested all the time to get the tape, so you were listening to the whole thing, even if it was Beauty of My Dreams for the 30th time in the past 50 tapes you got. You know, you're like,
God damn it, I will have that Beauty of My Dreams, and I'm gonna I love that, and I'm gonna tell everybody about how that opener slayed. Yeah, you're gonna do that. But nowadays, I don't do it. I just kind of like let it be and just, you know, look forward to the next thing. And I don't know.
I always joke it's not going to change. Oh, you re-listened to that. Was it different than the first time? You watched that movie again? Was it different? Which I know is an extreme, me being an ass. stance on that, but the point still stands that okay, that Chalk Dust, the Mexico Chalk Dust, I listened to 3 times. That's probably the most I've listened to. The night they did it, I watched it. The next day, I listened to it before we could talk about it. And then, like a week later, it popped up on YouTube, and I was like, I'll give it another half hour. I really liked, like you said, 5 minutes of it were so fantastic. I'll sit through the rest of it for it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, there's been moments where over the years, like the Great Went, Bathtub Gin caught me in real time. I was there, and then have not stopped listening to it to this day. And there's something there's like a Sneaking Sally from Bill Graham in 2016 that I think is like the bee's knees of 3.0, right? And I love that there's moments like that you never know when it's going to pop up. But
it's like
yeah.
having a greatest hits tape in your car. You take the couple of the best jams from a tour, you put them on a tape, and that was the tape you kept in your car, so you didn't have to have the whole tour in the car melting away in the sun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys re-listen to shows a lot, like that you've just been to, or not really?
Kev never does.
Listen to anything.
I tend to. I will. I'll go back and I don't know. I think with live fish, it's so easy too. Like the next day, if you're on tour, like when I was on tour in 21 driving from show to show, I'd re-listen to like last night's show on the road and just try to like, oh yeah, I remember that part. Oh yeah, that was, and like, and the Sphere shows I re-listened to see how it sounded outside, like if it sounded as good afterwards, listening to it from being in there. And then I still throw on like all the time when I'm cleaning or doing something, I'll throw on the Not So Secret set from Monday Green because I still love that thing. And it just, there's so many great moments in it. Still listening back to it all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And I'll just get caught like stopping and staring and watching the screen for a little bit and be like, oh man, that was so great. Like this is, so there's definitely a few. I think I do it more than Kev does for sure. And then with obviously Wook Club, we listen back to certain shows and things, but
I try to find something new on Bandcamp or YouTube or somewhere every day. I've never heard a band and listen to that. That's what takes up, some of my time. So going back, I read this thing when I was like 14 or 15 that Fripp said, he didn't understand why people wanted to tape King Crimson. Because he's like, I'm done with it. He's like, really, whatever they want, I'm done with it. I think Garcia expressed a similar sentiment to it. But he's like, why would you want to listen to something you already heard?
Because it ruled.
Yeah. Because that feeling it gives you. It's like they say when you're going to bed or something to put on a show that you've seen a bunch, like reruns, so your mind doesn't have to think too hard about it. I kind of feel that way sometimes about re-listening to me. You don't have to think too hard. Or when you do, you remember, wait, here comes this sweet part. I want to hear this jam again or whatever. And driving, I think it's always important to have good driving songs.
I don't drive.
I don't drive. Right, you don't drive. But like, I mean, there's some like that Allman Brothers 2-disc set is probably the greatest driving music there is. Like you can throw that disc on and listen to it forever. So I think
if I drive, I throw, you know what I throw on? If you put me behind the car and let me pick the music, I would put on like The Sound of Philadelphia, the Spinners or something, and I would make you listen for hours to stuff like that, just smooth 70s grooves, The Third Degree and stuff. Or either that or the radio. I used to love driving with the radio, and you'd get so far that the station would fade away, so you'd have to find another one. And sometimes, like in Indiana, you'd be stuck on the Pig Report for like 25 minutes because it was the only station that came in.
Yeah. I want to go back to this question from Michael about the amount of rock bands touring right now. Lead singers that can hardly breathe is incredible. I would say also to that how do you guys feel about bands that choose a new lead singer to then come in and become
Foreigner Journey? I love it. Screw them.
And like Queen,
it's just like
Queen
anything else. How different is it bringing in a guitarist that plays the same? John Mayer? Much?
Well, guitarist, yeah. But lead vocals, like lead singer, I mean, do you mind when when Hagar replaced David Lee Roth?
Oh, Van Hagar is a whole nother story. That's
right, but that's what I'm saying. Like that blew up and was big. I mean, even today with the nostalgic acts, how do you feel when it's like an older
I
band?
want to hear Journey songs, I don't care who's singing it. I'm going to go see the Journey band, even if Neil Schon and the
Because you're
keyboard
more into
player
the
are
whole
like,
crowd singing the song, right, Kev? You're going to be singing along with the band. You don't even care who's singing it. They just need to start it and it's
exactly,
audience karaoke.
exactly. Foreigner, I think there's only one original guy in Foreigner. You know, you go see him, you hear all that, but then it becomes a case of I'll go see it for $20. I'm not going to pay
Right.
$100
I'm
to
not
go
paying
see it.
$130 to see it. Right. Okay.
I'll watch the video. I watched the Journey show recently because I read this whole thing about the keyboard player and the guitar player are actively in a court battle fighting each other. Like they hate each other and they continue to tour together.
That's probably when you make the best music, though, is when you really hate each other up there on stage. Just like look at Oasis. I mean, this reunion tour, all you hear about is how great. I can't wait for this weekend in LA. But like the New York and Chicago shows, the crowds are insane. Like it almost you watch them in Europe, and that's kind of what you expect, like the bouncing on the floors and everyone singing along because that's what happens over there. But to bring that over here and have that same effect on people, it's pretty impressive. Like that's kind of cool. And the fact that they haven't fought and are still able to get through one more weekend is impressive as hell too. So
I saw it on Sunday.
Oh, nice. How was it?
It was excellent. You will have a great time. And I'll just say at my show, they hugged.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's emotional.
so
That's amazing. The last time I saw them was actually 05 Red Rocks. They played Red Rocks in 05 and I went out for the show. So it's been about exactly 20 years.
20
so
years
to see 20 years since I saw them last. So I'm excited.
Right. Simon, their lead singer, is actually a Scientologist too.
Oh yeah.
Do with that what you will.
Mike had another question. Mike, you're blowing up the chat tonight, but here's a question for you, Mike. You're around the same age as Michael. What's your favorite jam band in a local scene that never really made it that you wish might have or didn't?
That's a tough question. There was these bands that would play in the Northeast, in the Mid-Atlantic, in the Southeast, kind of like that swath of the country a lot in the late 90s, a lot of the festivals like Ominous Sea Pods and Deep Banana Blackout. There's a band from
Ominous Sea Pod. God love them.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a band from Virginia called Agents of Good Roots that was supposed to be like really big, kind of like on the Dave Matthews train.
Hazard.
I wish well, I'll just say this, and this may not be an answer to you. Yeah, Acoustic Hookah, Soul Live. Yeah, they were great, and they signed a Blue Note too, and were opening for Dave Matthews at one point. Like I feel like they got some shake at some point.
I've talked to Alan Evans a few times. He has a fantastic studio.
Oh, he's the man. Yeah.
He told me like a year and a half ago that he wasn't playing drums anymore. He had given it up, and then like a month later they announced Soul Live was going to be playing again.
I want more Soul Live, man. I wish we could get like a God Street Wine Soul Live West Coast run here, because like I feel they're always Midwest and East Coast, and it drives me crazy. And Krasno's out here. I think he lives out here, but he's always playing out here with some form of a different band and playing the Mint and stuff. And I'm like, would you just bring the Soul Live? Just do a Soul Live tour out here. It drives me crazy. I love them. They were awesome.
Yeah, they were good. It was just so fruitful back then, and I think there's some stuff happening now that is like that. That reminds me of that. But
I think you're absolutely right. I think we're in a almost, I don't want to say a golden age, but we're really in a come-upping time of, like you meant, like Aggie and Dogs and Goose being rising as much as they are. It's a good time right now for a lot of good music and a lot of good jam music. So hopefully some of these bands will both break through and sort of sit at that widespread level and stay there, so you can get that sort of that vibe back, almost like what we had in early 2000s, and then even further back in the early mid 90s. So
yeah, and back
I
to,
tell you,
yeah, just real quick, like back to, you're talking about whether Journey with no members is technically a cover band. And then over the last 10 years, we've seen the rise of J-Rad, who's an incredible band that is taking a catalog of music and putting an amazing spin on it. That, like, I was never that hyped on Dark Star Orchestra. Cool concept, but it just was like, I don't know
I
if
hope
I
I catch a Brent show.
get super down on it. But like when I first saw J-Rad, it was the start. I was like, this is something else. And I think there's been a morphing of how people are taking in like what other creative people are doing, that that's interesting, and opening up new spaces, and I don't know.
yeah, I agree with that completely, because even you look at like LPGOB and what she's been doing, and she has grown from like being this little DJ doing dead tunes and then like doing Mexico with them to now exploding. I mean, she has gotten huge, like her or not, but she's gotten
Hooking up
good.
with Rick. Her
And
and Rick
yeah,
are tight.
I know. And I mean, she is like owned her own space though, and it's really been impressive to watch her rise through that, doing it her way and her thing. And it's cool that like there's a space for that even inside of all of
Is
this too. So
is the Grateful Dead no longer an albatross? I mentioned Solar Circus. Somebody else mentioned Living Earth. They were both fantastic Grateful Dead cover bands. They both put out their first album. Juggling Suns. Well, no, Living Earth. Living Earth. That was another one. Living Earth put out their first album. It sounded like 38 Special, like a bad 38 Special. And it's the making the jump sometimes. Sometimes, when you listen to what J-Rad people do outside of it, it's completely different than what they do. It isn't like they're stuck within that thing. But sometimes a band like Solar Circus, they sound like 1974 Grateful Dead. That was their sound. So when they put out an album of their own, it sounded like bad covers of Grateful Dead tunes from 1974. God bless them. Obsession is a fantastic song. It's the Lost Kingfish song.
But so I will say, like, the thing that I respect about J-Rad is just like, we're gonna play some live shows. You're gonna come. It's gonna be amazing, and then we're gonna go home. There's no albums putting out. There's no this or that. It's just like, let's just melt faces and be done with it.
It's a jazz thing, playing a book, like you have Miles Davis played the standard American songbook, Ruby, My Dear,
100%.
Surrey with a French on Top from Oklahoma. They took the Grateful Dead songbook and they're reinterpreting it.
Yeah, for sure. The Dead is exactly that analogy. The Dead songbook is the Miles Davis playing the standards. That's what it's essentially become for rock and roll. And if you can do it, there's going to be like, like incredible is like an understatement of how good the music is. So if you can do it well, people are going to they're going to be into it.
Yeah.
And
So
Dark
if you're
Star is pretty cool. I have seen them, but it's
it's a
just like,
different level.
I want
though,
a Brent
right? Like,
show.
Because
I
you can
want a
kind of
Brent
put,
show if I see him.
you can put a lot of those in that same sort of, like there's Cubensis and like Jerry's Middle Finger and a lot of those kind of bands that are on sort of that other level of being. And even Dark Star Orchestra, which, yeah, every time I've seen them, it's been great, but it's not J-Rad. Like, I don't know why, but J-Rad, just the way they interpret it and play it is just a different level than some of those other ones that you see. So even in that, there's
Shout
like
out
this
to
hierarchy of it.
So if the Grateful Dead, I'm sure they make a little money off of what J-Rad does. They have to split some of the things. But if you're the Grateful Dead, do you say, hey, we're going to make movies about everything? Because a lot of Telluride went dead, huh, T?
Well, so it was interesting. I mean, unbeknownst to I don't know, a lot of us, apparently, they did a summer tour documentary called Summer Tour on the Dead and Co. is basically what it was. It was on their final tour in 2023. So it debuted at Telluride last weekend, was I believe when it was. And I don't know if you guys know, but Chloe Sevigny, who's an actress, she helped produce it, which is kind of crazy to me too. I had no idea she was even ahead, but she's one of the producers on the movie. I don't know a whole lot about it other than it was filmed, like I said, during the 23 tour and is sort of a recap of that and everything. And it got really good reviews. I mean, Telluride actually debuted the Bruce doc, or the Bruce movie, I should say. It's not a doc, but the Bruce movie with Jeremy Allen White was there and Bruce was there and introduced the movie. And I guess it went off really well too. And then the next night or whatever, they premiered this, and I was paying attention to it because of the Bruce thing. And I was like, holy crap, there was a Dead thing. And I kind of looked up some of that and saw, and was like, well, I'll have to check that out when it comes out. But yeah, to your point, Kev, the Dead will never die. There's so much to it, and there's so much to keep going with it, and you never know when something new is going to pop out. And I'm glad that this has happened too. I think this will be fun to again bring in more people around the Dead and Co. sort of.
Now, did they give out awards? How does this thing work? Do you get an award? Did the movie win anything, or?
No, it's mostly, I mean, there is, whatever, but it's mostly like a showcase for buying, distributing, getting in. And actually, Telluride's changing to Sundance. Sundance is moving to Telluride next year, the year after that, because Sundance is moving out of Sundance. So it'll start picking up more.
Wherever that is.
Bigger films. Wherever that is, Colorado and Utah, a little.
It's a soundstage in New Mexico.
So, but yeah, it was really cool. And the synopsis of it was that few American demographics are more easily characterized than the Dead, those swirling, dosing, hippie dress vagabonds. But as an infinitely sweet and wise documentary, director Misha Reichter offers us the Deadheads as complex, self-aware, and resourceful members of a wandering commune, one that's admirable for its kindness and care. And then there's like subjects. Jerry and Annie set off in their van to follow Dead and Co., the most recent successful to the original band.
It's a love story. Is it a love story?
They make just enough money busking to get by, and then it flows along like Dead song.
Is it like guitar and like a song and dance thing?
What?
Busking, like a song and dance kind of thing?
The guy Jerry is a gifted guitarist that they follow on this thing. Yes. And so it progresses. The film presents a certain irresistible logic to the Deadhead way of life at a moment when the modern world is spinning into uncertain social, political, environmental, and technological terrain. Perhaps we should all get on the bus. So it's a fun little, it's basically like hopping in the car with these two people and going on tour. So it'll be fun to like check out how they did it and what it's about.
You know how much gas costs to fill a bus?
You've seen the new VW, the new VW electric buses, Kev. My neighbor's got one.
It's it sounds cool. Isn't that the final tour though, where Kurtzman pulled out like a month before?
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, Jay Lane did the whole thing, but the tour before that,
I want to see.
Right. Yes, the tour before that, Jay Lane played half the tour. Yeah. Billy would play some nights only half the night. Some nights he didn't show up. I mean, the dude's what, 75, 80? I mean, they're old as that. Goes back to the AARP thing. Billy's like, I'm done. I'll play every once in a while in my backyard. I can get the best players in the world to fly in and play with me. Reed Mathis said that Billy Kreutzmann was the one drummer that he always wants to play with. He's like, that's my guy, you know?
That's cool. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know if I think I might let the 2023 tour just exist in my
in your head, like we talked about. No need to go back and listen to it and see it. Yeah. And yes, Simon Scorsese still is making the Dead movie with Jonah Hill as Jerry. That still is happening.
Right. They had another thing. Well, two things. I don't know if you heard about the Dead and Come the IMAX thing, but apparently that was a poop show in a lot of the theaters. And they also did another meetup of the movies. Let me ask you, what do you think about the meetup at the movie things? I've never been to one. Every year I get asked, and I'm just like, I feel like it would be weird to be sitting in a movie theater with everybody dancing around you, because when I go to a movie theater, I expect to sit down and watch a movie.
I mean, I would never do it.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I did one. They did a fish thing in the theater a long time ago, and I went and saw
The 3D, the 3D
Not in
thing.
3D. Was it in 3D? I don't remember. The one I went to was definitely not in 3D because I was not wearing glasses.
Was it the Coney Island, like
Yes.
Brooklyn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that. That's exactly what it was. Yes. It's weird. I mean, if you're into it, it works, and like people get dancing and like having fun. Like when I went to the Talking Heads thing, like that was a lot of fun because when they played the movie, everybody stood up and was like dancing to the songs and stuff, which was kind of unexpected. But you're like, okay, this is cool. Like everyone get into it. It's a little hard in the theater. It works better in IMAX when they have the long walkways that you can like jam in and stuff. It sucks that you can't smoke weed or like do a lot of drugs in there or have your balloons going. But you know, I mean, it's a communal thing. I mean, that's what's fun about it is you go in with other heads and you get to like experience with other people of like-minded ways and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not like completely like, oh, I can't wait to go see it or anything like that. So
I would want to sit. That's my whole thing. And everybody be in front of me dancing, and then I'd be a grumpy little bitch, you know.
yeah, you would get out of the way, sit down. I can't see.
What the
Like,
hell?
bro,
You
it's
think
like a concert. Stand up, Grandpa. Come on.
either that or they put me in the front row, and then I bitch my neck hurt from having to.
There you go,
stare
Hazard.
straight
That's the
up.
best way to enjoy it. As long as you're making money off of it, that's perfect. Exactly. That's great.
All right, I'm back and forth on this thing. On this other
On what
thing.
thing?
We talked about Iowa 74 yesterday. I was gonna mention something. I don't know if I want to talk about it. Somebody rebooking their cruise.
Oh, yeah, I would leave it, Kev. You don't need to bring it up.
Right. Did you
Everyone
see
knows
that
what
thing
it
in
is.
Rolling Stone that they did the 30 best Grateful Dead concerts?
We did a whole thing on it. So
Right.
yes.
Did you
it was
see
great.
that, Mike?
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't dignify it
didn't.
real quick.
We get it live where I saw it the first time while T read through it with me live. And then we commented on each one. And of course, they stuck Cornell as number one, which is such a cop out. Might be a top 10 show, might not even be. Might not be the best show from that week. Buffalo.
No, yeah, that's not right. Of course, but you know, I would probably put a Brent show in like the top two. Maybe number one. I know that's weird. That might be weird sounding, but like Brent was
Longest tenured keyboard player. They had so much growth. They found international success. They went through a lot. By 89, 90, before he died, they were on top of the world. They were
top
just
world.
poised to.
Like it was like this rebirth, and like the 10-16, 89, the Warlocks from 10-8, 10-9, 89 in Hampton. Like that stuff is just like
RFK from 90.
magical.
Maybe the best Dark Star they ever did. 25 minutes in a rainstorm in a stadium with 70,000 people, and they just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, like that stuff. So Cornell is fine and dandy and all, but it's nothing I listen to very.
A lot of good tapes. It's the tape thing. Good tapes existed of it, so everybody had a copy of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, that is 100% the revisionist, like not revisionist history, but like the secret that a lot of people don't know. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah, gateway tape drug for everybody. Like, oh, you want to listen to something here? Listen to this. You're not giving them like, I don't know, Avalon Ballroom or some like, out there 67 show that, sounds pretty rustic and weird and acid testy. You're giving somebody you want to get into it 5877. It sounds amazing.
Right. I honestly, if somebody knew about music and wanted to understand the Grateful Dead, I would probably play them side one Alive Dead. that we talked about earlier, getting pushed down the steps, as the quintessential Grateful Dead performance. I can close my eyes and pretty much go through that whole song in my head if I was in silence. I've just listened to it so many times, and it's, I don't know. What would yours be, T? What would you give someone if
To
you were
listen
trying
to?
to sell them?
To sell them on the Dead to listen to? Oh, man, I don't know. That's tough. I honestly, Kev, I might give him the Iowa show we just listened to. That's
Right.
such a banger. I can't even get over
The
it.
eyes from that, I think, is a great, but it's also
It's
what
a
we talked
little,
about with Mickey. There was no
yeah,
Mickey there. So Kreutzmann was
but
free to be
it's
himself.
a great introduction to who they are, because it's like we said on the recap thing on the book club, it's the greatest hits of like a ton of their songs, but done so epically well. And then you get some real bangers like that China Rider transition and that Eyes and even that Playing that gets way crazy. But then you also get Jerry jamming the hell out of that Deal. You get some great Bobby songs. You get, so it's a really good. I would probably give them that and be like, here, listen to this.
Take this.
Start at the top.
And
So
then you can watch our recap on Wook.
and then go watch the recap. I'll say though that list, I didn't have a problem with a lot of the list. I mean, you can go back and nitpick, but as far as
Right.
laying the foundation down and putting it where the way they did, it was pretty well done. I mean, they've done a lot worse with a lot worse of their lists and things. So I'll give. I thought that one was serviceable and passed okay. So we'll give them that.
Are you ready?
Am I ready for what? Not yet. Are you doing it yet? We're not there yet, are we? Come on.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God, it's already
there.
7. We're already over. I was gonna say, just going back to what we were talking about with like, you know, bands growing, like Goose selling out MSG, because I was gonna put this in the Jam Band Roundup real quick, Kev, is watching Goose open for Dave over the weekend was really impressive. Kevin and I did a whole Dave breakdown for the first time of the weekend shows because it was so fucking good. Like Dave really kicked ass at the Gorge. Like it was a great run. And he's been doing it for 20 years now. So really impressive, kind of like Fish Dicks. And since Fish didn't do Dicks, it was fun to watch that. But it's fun to see Goose sell out MSG and then go back to like being an opening band and open for Dave. I thought that was really cool. And, you know, Rick talked about how his sister got him into Dave when he was younger and Dave he really looked up to. So playing with him was really a cool thing. But I thought that Goose opening set, if I wasn't a Goose fan and had never heard them, like I think a lot of the Dave fans kind of weren't.
Can we get a torch over here?
I would be in. I would be in. I would be like, that band that sounded great. Like that was a great opening set that they played. I would totally listen to them.
And then you go see them and they do Factory Fiction and everyone's like, this is weird.
Right. And then I try to listen to them
when
they go into these jams and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I think though what we talked about on the show too was the fact that they didn't have time to jam out too much and kept it inside the time limit, made it better, made them sound better and made it really good. So I don't know. It was really impressive. And that whole Dave show, like I said, Dave made me a believer again.
You had a moment. I
did. I listened to The Warehouse again, totally hit me in the feels. And I was like, damn, I totally remember loving Dave in the 90s. Like, this is awesome. Like, it's just like your book, man, reading through the book. And you're like, oh, I totally remember this.
I remember that.
It just, the nostalgia, the feeling just hit me. And I was like, I need to go see Dave again. Sorry. So,
when that breakdown in Warehouse hits, and like sun is setting or wherever you are, like it is like speechless.
Yes, it's and Dave has, you know, he's rearranged some of the songs so they don't have Boyd anymore and they put the horns in and Leroy died and they had what's his name came out and did the fiddle for the first, like they don't always have the fiddle guy and so they had him come out and do the fiddle, which adds so much to it because it's like listening to original versions again. But the way he's changed the arrangements and changed up the songs and stuff, they sound so great still. And he still jams, man. I mean, like they get at it. And Carter is still top notch. I mean, we talk a lot about Fishman, but Carter fucking
beast. He's a beast.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, so he's
still
made a good
move. They made a good move there, huh?
They made a great move there. I mean,
it wasn't just a lateral move. It was,
yeah. So I totally like that. Yes, listening to that Warehouse again, I forgot how good it was. And man, as soon as I was like, oh, and then listening to it,
yeah,
like,
bring the fiddle guy on
chills.
board.
I was like, oh my God, I love it. Like it was, I was like going right back into it, man. It was so good. So yeah. Stardust hit hard. I mean, Gray Street was great. He went through all the hits. Like you go through that set list of that entire weekend and playing that full album front to back that on Saturday night, epic. Like
people lost their people were losing their mind.
Yeah, social media was going crazy, like nuts on that one. So It was awesome. Like, good for Dave. Good to see he still brings it. He reignited a fan in me, and now I want to go see him on. Like, it's too bad he's not touring the rest of the fall, except for Tim and him doing Farm Aid. But other than that, he's out until next year. So we'll
Mexico.
see. But I'm in.
You got to sneak into Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. But I'm glad you watched it too. Like, I was going to ask you. I mean, we talked about Dave when we did the interview and how he was able to maintain his level and kind of walk that boundary of like getting the fans that kind of weren't into Fish, but he attracted that fan base, and to have that longevity all these years later. I mean, they're just as ravenous as the Fish fans are. It's crazy. So it's cool to see.
They're just as ravenous. Yeah, I mean, so I saw them a couple years ago at PNC Bank, and they were touring on their latest record, and the sets were pretty close to each other each night.
Yeah,
And I was kind of like, whatever. I'm not seeing a bunch of shows, so it doesn't matter. But fans do, like, they definitely do. And I just kind of thought, I was like, maybe it'd be nice if they were switching it up, because I'm sure the fans would appreciate that more. So when I saw these Gorge weekends and this like very unorthodox way that they approached it, and how the fans, like, that made me super happy. And I do hope that they start diving into more like experimental set lists, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, because
Breaking out stuff.
I was worried if I went and saw him, I wouldn't know any of the songs these days, because I mean, like, he might play one or two of the old school songs just to kind of throw you a bone, but a lot of it would be new stuff, so I'd be like lost in it. But listening to the Gorge shows, I was like, wow, he really did a good job of mixing it all together. And
he got kind of deep the third night. The third night was like the show for the people. He got kind of deep with some of those cuts there.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's interesting to hear you say it, because I was wondering how much, because he's got such a catalog these days. Too.
Yeah.
I mean, again, 40 years in or whatever, he's got a huge catalog to choose from. So
he does, but like, like even, Fish will pull out, Destiny Unbound like once a year, twice a year, like they'll pull out these gems that they know are like revered, and hopefully Dave will start playing with that.
I agree completely. And I want to just point this out too from Dave. Yes, the multicam, the fact that streaming service let you pick what camera you wanted to watch from was sick. Like, to be able to watch the Carter cam and just watch Carter, I was like, Fish, hello, Fish, live Fish. Like,
that's cool. Yeah.
Let's get this hooked up so the fans could actually choose the angle and not have to rely on Trey Kerr the whole time showing us what he wants to see. So yeah, that was cool though. Sorry, Kev. I just wanted to throw that in on the Jam Band Minute. And now, Dave, watch your ears, because here it comes. 3, 2, 1.
The Neil Young Minute. Neil Young continues to amaze across the country, breaking out Only Love Can Break Your Heart in Fiddler's Green the other night. In addition, he has busted out this Notes for You at the Budweiser stage in Toronto, quite appropriate. And he's Neil Young. Where are you on Neil Young? This started as a joke about me complaining about Neil Young, and I ended up having to do a Neil Young Minute every week as, I guess, punishment.
Neil Young's great. That's it. That's it. That's what I got. Yeah, like some really good, some amazing records. And I saw him last year at Forest Hills and with Crazy Horse, and it was good. And that's it.
There you go.
I agree. I think, yeah, I don't have a problem with him. I've always liked a lot of his songs. I like his political stance. I like his rebelliousness. I like how he's diversified too and played with like Pearl Jam and changed up things and like done things throughout the years to stay relevant and somewhat new and fresh. And I mean, the guy rocks. So
I mean, look, his new studio stuff drives me crazy because it's not good at all.
Right.
Like it's just like the lyrics can be so trite, and it's like, dude, you wrote like, Heart of Gold in Ohio. Like what? Like why are you talking about Elon Musk in lyrics? Like, please don't do that. right?
Just let it be, right?
Like, but as
Just
long as he's
protest.
not doing that, and if you've never seen him and you like rock and roll music, you should see him once, and he won't most likely talk about Elon Musk. And
Right. Well, he has that song "Big Money" or "Big Crime" or something that he does. "Big Crime," that's what it's called. It's his anti right now protest.
yeah, and look, I get like as a songwriter, you're like a creative person, you want to keep going, but there also is something with like, you
You're
know,
married, dude. You're married to Daryl Hannah. She's like always going to be the hot young wife because she's like 20 years younger than you, and all you got to do is roll around the country every, for 2 months a year, or 2 months every couple of years, even.
yeah, I remember at the the Wall Street Journal. I interviewed him when I was at the Wall Street Journal, and I need to find that audio. It was good. It was a good chat, but he was talking about a new live record that had old stuff on it, and it was recorded like with an interesting sound system. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like it came out like around 2015, and but I had to go to this nondescript office in Midtown Manhattan and listen to the record on a Pono. Like that's the only way I could hear it before to prep is I had to go by myself into this weird office in the dark. It wasn't
Pat
lit,
down.
and I had to listen to it on a Pono. Like,
Oh, I absolutely love it.
It's great.
Which was it? Arc Weld? Was it the live album?
no. Hold on.
I love Ark and Well. I saw that tour. Sonic Youth opened for him. That was a tour.
Oh, it was called Earth.
Earth. Oh my God, that's recent. That's the Bonnaroo thing when he started the whole Chrome Hearts thing. I think or Promise of the Real started with that tour with Bonnaroo and Earth and all that stuff.
He was, but because he was talking to me about this record, and this record has like Vampire Blues and After the Gold Rush on it, like I could, like I was A-okay to talk about old shit.
Okay.
So like, it was very particular, like, but
Right. I talked to Marty Wilson Piper, who's a guitarist in the church. And when he came on, I was like, I was running through, I was like, I was going to ask you about the church. And he's like, I don't want to talk about that. I was like, all right, well, how about Fall Out Boy? I don't want to talk about that. And I said something else, and he's like, I don't want to talk about that. And I was like, all right, let's go. And I went live, and we talked for an hour and a half. And he eventually talked about all that stuff the further I got him into it. So
Gotta lube him up, get him going. That's it.
no going dry, man.
That's it.
What can you do? He has this really cool thing where he has a media library in Portugal or wherever he lives with like thousands and thousands of tapes, and he has people to send him stuff, and he catalogs it and he keeps it. I don't know what he's ever going to do with it, but it was fascinating, just fascinating.
Oh,
In his lair. All right, play that outro. Get us out of here, man.
all right, I was gonna say though, Kev, with the last 2 weeks, the Neil Young minutes have really gone long. Like I thought we were gonna push the 9-minute mark like we did last week. But all right,
type 2 Neil Young minutes there.
I'm pulling it. Here we go. Here comes the outro.
The Neil Young minute.
I didn't even notice that you put a Wook Plus sign on the dude's
Oh,
cardboard thing on the bottom right. I didn't even see that before.
How many times have we ran that?
I know. I always just look at his sign that he's holding. I never looked at the rest of the picture. That's funny.
God help us.
That's great.
All right. Mike will be in touch soon. We'll be talking. We have this great, incredible, huge, enormous thing coming up at the 8x10. I'm sure I'll be posting about it. I'm sure that Mike will. I'm sure that the Wook Plus account will.
Michael
All right.
really wants
Okay.
to know if you've ever hid in the trunk of a car to get into a festival.
This is a really good and important question. And I'm happy to say I have not. but I'm pretty sure that I have driven somebody in.
You smuggled somebody in?
I have been a smuggler, not the smuggly.
Right. I was smuggled into a drive-in movie once to see Who Made Who, and Jason, whichever one the eye was in 3D where the eyeball popped out at you. It was a double
awesome.
feature.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But I didn't have glasses because we snuck in. We didn't get handed the glasses.
I was gonna say that's definitely the one you want to sneak in for, but then missing the 3D glass, I guess it really wouldn't matter though. It's not like it enhanced the movie that much for you, but still, that's great.
God help me. I'm going to hell. All
right,
we'll
well, Mike, once again, this is awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
if you guys want more, Mike,
super fun.
Go back and watch our interview with him because it's fascinating talking just about the book. And if you haven't read the book, go pick it up. Go get a copy of it. Come see if you're in the Baltimore area or want to be in the Baltimore area. Come check out Kev interviewing Mike at the 8x10 on November 1st.
You want to be.
If you want to be in the Baltimore area, I don't know, But
we have
and Mike, you're
highways,
also doing a few other
95.
stops on the tour. I know you're doing one before Hampton with Rise Storm, which will be really cool too. So, I mean, if you want to run down a few of the other dates, feel free to go ahead and do that right now. Or
no, that's it. I'll be in Hampton at the Barnes and Noble there for that run, which should be super fun. I saw pretty much. I think I saw every Hampton show in the '90s for Fish.
Same. What are you doing tomorrow night? You should come on tomorrow night. We're ranking the Hampton shows. You should come back on.
Yeah, well, I think the 97s are the best, and then everything else is behind it.
Top two shows, yeah. The 97s are the top twos, and then we can.
That's the ranking.
That's it. You dropped it right there. Good. That's it. I like it.
If you're going to go back and listen to something that hasn't changed, listen to Hampton 97.
Yeah. They should do
the Haleys. The Haleys broke through for a song I'm not a big fan of. That Haleys really.
Oh yeah. No, that was something. That was like it turned heads, including yours. Yeah.
Exactly.
My favorite was in 96, I guess it was, when they were doing Star Spangled Banner every night, because they were leading up to doing it for the Raptors or whoever they sang it before, some weird basketball thing. And when they got to the O part, I yelled, "Oh," because I'm an Orioles fan. And I got the stink eye from so many people, like, turned around. I was like, "Oh." But you heard like 8 people do it. You heard it from like several different places. There's the arena people say,
yeah.
What can we do? Like I said, I'm going to hell and I'm enjoying the ride.
That's it. Yeah, but Mike, thank you so much, man. It's always a pleasure. You're welcome back anytime. Like, it's so fun talking to you, man. It's a great hang. Love getting the little tidbits from your interviews and things like that from you are fascinating. So thanks.
Great.
Comment later.
Hopefully see you in Baltimore.
Comment later. Make sure that you go over to volume. Just go over to volume already. And,
get over on volume already.
Give me the all clear. I don't want to ripcord.
All right. I just want to thank the chat real quick. I'll run through it. Thanks, Dave. Thanks to Boot. Thanks, Mike's Groovin'. You guys have rule. Hazard, I'm glad you made it over tonight. Marathon Guy 99. We did talk a little Oasis at the beginning. I'd love to do an Oasis minute, but they haven't been around for 20 years, so there's not a whole lot to talk about with them. Simon, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. What? The Oasis second. Yeah.
No, when they're around for a minute, we'll do a minute.
Well, when they're around for a minute, we'll give them a second. That's what we'll do. But chat, you guys rule. Thank you so much for the support as always. Looking forward to a couple of weeks when we get back into the after shows for sure. So we'll see you guys then. All right, Kev, you ready? Thanks, Mike. Once again, always a pleasure, man.
Hold on for a sec so we can make sure it's uploaded.
Yep. All right, Kev, kill it. Let's go. Run it. Go get the book if you haven't. It's such a great read.
I need a pallet on the floor in Baltimore. Sit, Ubu, sit.